All right, heroes, we're back. We're talking right now about call credit spreads. So, interestingly enough, you've seen, if you've watched all the videos up to this point, you've actually seen call credit spreads in action, which is kind of cool. But we're going to get into actually really when to do them, profitability, all that stuff. Because these are really awesome strategies that give you a really high return on capital. You don't make a lot of money, but they give you a pretty big return on capital. And you'll see here in a second. So, a call credit spread involves selling a call and buying a call further out of the money, right? Where have we heard that before, right? We've heard that before when people without margin accounts wanted to be able to sell calls. And the way they do that is by defining their risk by buying a wing or a call further out of the money, right? So this is no different than doing that. So as an example, if we want to go ahead and we want to get rid of this crap, a call credit spread, we can sell a call and buy a call further out, right? This is a call credit spread, right? Or call vertical spread, right? And we call it a credit spread is because we are collecting a credit for doing so. We're getting paid to do so. When we execute this strategy, we're getting $126 minus commissions in our account. That's known as a credit, right? So this is a call credit spread. Nothing crazy about this. Pretty simple, right? So do they work? We know that selling a 1 standard deviation, a 16 delta call works in all market environments, and especially when we buy them back for 50% of the max credit, right? So what about a normal call credit spread, right? The normal call credit spread that I do is selling the 40 delta call and buying the 20 delta call, right? We're doing this in the monthly expiration cycle every day from 2003 to present, and we're going to hold an expiration. So this is a little bit different than selling the 16 delta call and buying, say, a 2 delta call. This is selling the 40 delta call and buying the 20. So we're going to collect more money. However, our probabilities of success aren't as great as compared to selling the 16 delta call. So what we're going to do is sell the 40. Oh, I did it already. Sell the 40, buy the 20, and here is what it looks like. We can make $126. We could lose $174. This is a call credit spread. So we did this every single day since 2003 to present. Every single day, rain or shine, no matter what. Here are the results. We were right about 56% of the time. We averaged a loss of about $3 per trade. So, doing this specific strategy where we're selling the 40 delta call, buying the 20 delta call to create a call credit spread, this is a losing strategy. Yeah, straight up, this is a losing strategy. One of the reasons for that is because we're pretty close to the money in the market. This is just a bull market. This is a bearish strategy. So we make money on this strategy. Again, guys, we make money on this strategy if prices go down, if implied volatility decreases. So prices have gone up pretty much for the last 9 years straight. So this is not a profitable strategy. So we know it's not a profitable strategy already. So let's see if we can make it profitable. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the trade, and now we're going to see what happens if we buy it back for 50% of the credit we received. So in this scenario, we collected $1.26. We're going to look to buy it back if the value of this spread gets to 63 cents. So remember, by itself, this strategy doesn't work. It's not profitable. However, if we're going to go ahead and just buy it back at 50% of max profit, it does all of a sudden become a profitable strategy. It's not a widely profitable strategy. It's not a hugely profitable strategy. However, managing our winners when we sell the 40 delta call, buy the 20 delta call, turns out to be a profitable strategy. Pretty damn cool just by itself. But let's take it a step further. Remember, we're doing this trade for a credit, which means we're looking for implied volatility to decrease over time. We're selling options, we're creating a credit. When we sell options, we want the value of those options to go down, right? Makes sense. So we want to bracket this now in times of high volatility, right? When volatility is high, we know that options are more overstated than they normally are, right? So maybe doing this, right? We already took this trade. We did this trade every day. It didn't make any money. We did this trade every day, managed it at 50%, and made a little bit of money. Now let's see what happens when we do this in periods of high volatility, right? So again, when we do this trade every day, it doesn't work. When we do this trade and just manage it at 50% of max profit, it works, but really, really small. However, When we do this, manage it at 50% and put the trade on in periods of high volatility, it all of a sudden becomes a widely successful trade. Really interesting. We're right 75% of the time for $1.14 per day. How about that? This call credit spread has the largest discrepancy between doing it every single day and doing it in periods of high volatility, as you guys can see. These are pretty amazing results. Even when we do it every day and manage it at 50%, we only make about 8 cents per day. But when we do it in periods of high volatility, all of a sudden, we're like 12 times more profitable. 13 times more profitable. That's pretty amazing. So when you are in periods of high volatility, we can do this credit spread where we're selling the 40 delta call, buying the 20 delta call, and buying it back for 50% of the credit we received. It all of a sudden becomes a widely successful and profitable strategy. But we're not done there yet. We got a really, really cool one here now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to 2003 to present, right? Every single day, now we're going to sell the 30 delta call and buy the 15 delta call, right? So 30 delta call, buy 15, right? That's what we're going to do. We collect 57 cents there, right? And we're going to do this again in the monthly expiration cycle closest to 50 days. And we're going to hold it until expiration, right? We're just going to hold it until expiration, right? But now what we're going to do is we're going to do it every day. And then we're going to bracket in a scenario where if we do it in periods where we collect at least 20% of the width of the strikes. So I have an example here, $5 wide spread, $1 collected. In this example, this is a $2 spread. If we collected more than 40 cents, we would then bracket this trade into our second category. So as it stands today, this is where we would bracket it, right? Pretty cool. So let's see those results. And they're pretty eye-opening. This is a profitable strategy as is. However, when we collect at least 20% of the width of the spread, starting with a 30 delta, now it becomes a 4 times more profitable strategy than doing it every single day. Pretty crazy. Now again, most of these occurrences occur when volatility is greater than average. So again, going back to original, the strategy doesn't work doing it every day. And again, what's the strategy? Selling the 40 delta call, buying the 20 delta call. That strategy doesn't work every single day. However, it becomes a profitable strategy when we look at managing our winners. And on top of that, it all of a sudden becomes a hugely successful strategy when we do it in periods of high volatility. So when we have high volatility, go ahead, sell these call spreads. Sell the 40 delta call, buy the 20 delta call. I'll see you on the next video.